Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the You Got a Minute Fan Podcast. I am your host, RC Carlton, and I am joined by Actively Lazy.
Yeah, this should be a great show since I don't know what the outline is, so I'm really going to be free
I
spirited.
just sent you one, man, like 20 minutes ago.
No, you sent me the link. You sent me a link to the Zoom.
This is going to be real fun.
See, exactly. So, it's all good. I got it. Don't worry about it.
Baby, wing it. You halfway wing. I don't think you read the outlines anyway.
I skim them. Improv is what I do best.
Starting off, we got a lot of fines, but a slower week than usual, certainly before the other week. Hopefully there won't be any Sam Hugh, or it's actually Howe. I want to say Hugh, but it's Howe, but it's spelled Hugh. No Sam Hugh, Howe, why, where mentions, which is good for him because he's becoming our whipping boy. But we did have one from Bill Gorman. I find Bill Gorman an undisclosed amount of money. I just said I don't even think I give the amounts all the time anymore. I find it for saying Chris Leak didn't do anything with that Florida team. People were upset because we had the podcast and Sam. See, I did do the Sam, but Sam ranted about Tim Tebow. Then other people came in that don't like Tim Tebow. They didn't like that rant. A lot of the liberals that don't like Tebow, but it's not about him. It's about Bill saying that Chris Leak didn't do anything with the Florida team.
This is why I only talk to certain people about college football, man. Chris Leak won a national championship. It was controversial when Tim Tebow took over for Chris Leak. And it was even not necessarily embraced when they started splitting time. Florida still gave Chris Leak plenty of spin when Chris Leak was there because Chris Leak was a better passer and a better athlete. Tim Tebow was just a winner, and he's a good college quarterback. But at the end of the day, you're not going to act like somebody that won a national championship didn't do anything. And then I'm pretty sure the rebuttal to that was, well, look at who he had around him. Like, people always say that. No quarterback in a Florida system truly gets carried by the people around them. Even when Urban was there, you got to make plays as a quarterback to win the national championship.
And that was actually the argument against Tebow. Originally, I suspended the other guy saying Tebow was overrated in college. I think it was Dan, maybe. I suspended him for 3 days because he said Tebow was overrated in college and just was surrounded with good talent. Like, bro, he broke every SEC record there was, basically. And Chris Leak was there. He didn't look like that. Similar talent. Cam was there. He didn't look like that. So let's not play that game just because you don't like someone. I'm not here to defend Tim Tebow, but his college resume is nearly unparalleled. Like, you can't shit on his college because he was the guy in college. And he's still living off
going after Tim Tebow's. Going after Tim Tebow's college record is as bad as going after his religion. Those are two things that honestly you can't really fault the guy on. Pick something else.
And we have Michael Stewart. You can find Michael Stewart $2 billion. Little excessive, little white cop in the South in the 60s.
It's not.
For saying Clay is overrated or underrated.
Habitual line stepper.
That is true.
Charlie Murphy. That is you. Right there. Rick James, man. Where was Clay underrated? Especially in our group.
Definitely not in our group.
Yeah, we routinely tout him as one of the top two-way players in the league, especially at his position. And then even nationally, you never hear a lot of criticism about Clay. There's more criticism about Steph and his game than there is about Clay. Clay just, most of the time people talk about Steph, they'll talk about Draymond. You rarely have heard Clay needs to step up or Clay needs to do this, Clay needs to do that. Clay is generally straight. So, yeah, I mean, the $2 billion is excessive, but it's just, I just feel like if I just keep being as extreme as him, eventually one of us will give in. And I'm hoping it's him.
To me, Clay is a definition of properly rated. I think maybe one of those years with Durant, maybe the first year he was underrated because he was still out there guarding the best player on the perimeter, whether it be a point guard or a wing, and putting up buckets. But come on, everybody knows what Clay can do. Everybody knows. He scored the most points in the history of the game in one quarter. Everybody knows what Klay Thompson can do. But, Michael's
what radar is he? What radar is he under? What rating is he under?
I think Michael, my boy Michael, my former student, I think he's still behind. Like he focuses on Kobe, so he doesn't get a lot of new news about basketball, but he's dedicated to his craft. So that I respect a whole lot. But because he's consistent. It's not good, but he's very consistent and he's an all-star. So I can live with it, but yeah, he's a habitual line stepper constantly. And we had Mike Grimm, who actually I like when Mike Grimm is more. The group is more fun when Mike Grimm is involved. Formerly IBS Wyatt, formerly IBS what was he else? IBS Corbin. But when he switched to IBS Corbin, they came for his account, and they said it was a fake account, and so I don't know why, but.
I have known Michael, that's his government name. I'm going to put him on blast. I've known him for pretty much half my life. And I don't think anybody's ever said anything is better when he's a part of it. So I applaud you for that. Maybe his mother's a sweetheart and he's so mean to her. So she might say that. But you can ask his sister, his niece, his dog, me, my boy E. Wow. And we're going to be like, it depends.
It's a group of degenerates. And I mean that in the literal sense, not the gambling sense. So
that's my squad, man.
But he fined Byron Harris, who doesn't post that much, for saying who needs money when ball is life, which is pretty ignorant. Instead of a 2% stake in Puma, which averages out to be $120 million a year. And I'm assuming it's that Jamaicans versus USA thread that Sha'Carri Richardson inspired.
No, actually, it's a thread where somebody had posted a meme. It was like shoe deals. So it was like 5 options, 4 or 5 options. Yeah, and you got to pick which one was the better option.
I hate shoes as much as I hate hip hop shoe culture. So I didn't read that post. Just never understood that. What it's a piece of fabric, some leather. Why are you paying $200 for it? I don't understand.
You're like the black Clint Eastwood, man.
But I believe this when I was a kid though. I bought a pair of Jordans for my cousin one time. I never would buy a pair of Jordans. I don't care. I buy my shoes from Target. I'm not ashamed. I don't care. Or not my dress shoes.
I mean, whatever. Yeah, whatever works for you, bro.
I missed that thread, but the only thing I care about shoes is how much money these dudes making off the shoes, and I'm proud that they're making this much money off it. Good for them. But yeah, it was a good fight because if this dude is saying who cares about money when ball is life, what the hell?
Man, broke people always say dumb shit like that, man.
Yeah.
They always say dumb shit like that. What do you mean ball is life? I hate these dumbass slogans that we have in our society, like living the dream and ball is life and stupid shit like that. Like, what does that even mean? What does that mean?
It would be a lot more life if you were getting paid for it and getting shoe deals off of it.
Ball is only life if you got those like Mike shoes. Then ball is life. If you got shoes like that, then you don't need another pair of shoes. But if we talking about like an everyday person, like, come on, man, 2% stake in a shoe company that's going to get you $120 million a year.
That's wild.
What are we talking about?
Now, what was funny in the thread, or actually in the post, in the thread, Mike said can't tag and probably has his settings to not allow it. And I said, if that setting exists, I need it because I get tagged a lot needlessly. And then Keith Danger said, who pokes in and out, says, narrator, alas, for RC Carlton, the setting did not exist. That was pretty good. I only saw that today, but I wish that setting existed, that certain people couldn't tag me, because the person who would not be named on this podcast would be first in the list. Daniel had a really bad moment in the entertainment group. I'm not sure if you saw it, but
it's a Michigan thing. It's got to be a Michigan.
I don't know. He fined himself. I scanned it, especially with entertainment. Daniel gets a little wild, but he says, in before he who will not be named says we'd all smash Honey Boo Boo, hashtag Lizzogate. And he said, just because I got a little extra meat on my bones, you want to hate me. And evidently, Honey Boo Boo is kind of having a coming out party, but she's still only 16. So basically, Daniel, who didn't realize this because he probably had some intoxicants inside of his body, he's making sex jokes about 16-year-old girls. But I it's a low. It's a low point for Daniel.
Look, man, you seen the jump for Wolf of Wall Street? I saw you posted it today.
Yeah.
That's my boy Daniel, yo. You know what I'm saying? Hey, sometimes he here, sometimes he not, and sometimes when he's here, he takes a break mentally, and he goes to that space, to that realm that a lot of us have never experienced. But I hear there's some wild times out there, and then he comes back to reality, and he has to do damage control, and I think this was damage control. And I'm going to continue to pray for my boy Daniel. Yeah, he found himself, which is progress. Usually he'll double down on it, but even he has his limits, and I am going to tell him in my clinical voice that I appreciate you taking responsibility for this, and I recognize your growth, and let's move on.
I just
because if not, I'm going to call
the thought process, because bro, the only thing Honey Boo Boo is known for, I've never seen the show, but you can't miss Honey Boo Boo.
Me neither.
Like a sensation. And I've seen clips like Real Click on other shows and headlines and everything, and I know it's a mess and nonsense, but the only thing she's known for is being a child star. So how many years did you think it passed? I knew she wasn't 27. That's what I knew. She was not 27 years old. I don't follow it, but I know, A, her name is Honey Boo Boo. So that should tell you right there, you're still dealing with a child. 2, she's a child star. 3, it ain't been that long, bro. I don't know when the show started, but it ain't been that long.
So the real kicker here is the headline says Alana, Honey Boo Boo Thompson, at 16 on drugs, body shaming, having no friends. So it's literally in the headline.
And the pictures she still looks very young in the pictures.
It says 16. He lives in Arizona. Maybe that's the limit there, the legal limit. You never know with these Republican areas, man, or if you into that QAnon stuff with the liberal areas. It seems like everybody likes the kids. So
he's so busy fussing about his child wearing a mask at school. We hit the shots down. He's so busy fussing and posting about his child wearing a mask at school that maybe he's a little distracted, bro. We don't get into COVID talk, but bro, chill out on your threads.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. He's really cool. And then he gets the crazies. He said, man, I just thought it was dumb that they're not wearing the mask in the carpool line. Okay, but you just drugged up every conspiracy Q COVID mask anti-person that there is on that thread. I just he got mad at me because I like somebody that was talking some common sense on the thread. Or now I went, you know what I do now, and it's passive aggressive, it's not right. But some of the threads when people are dumb, I just laugh at their comments if it's political. And it just I just laugh if they say something.
Corey does that shit to me all the time.
It's a Carlton move. But moving on for the wonderful Daniel LeClaire, I thought this is a great accomplishment by Sebastian Mall, and the group went and tried to ruin it. Rihan fined Sebastian $100K for not winning, but that's a group tradition. I thought that was a nice light roast. But he fined Sebastian Mall because he didn't win the Voice Peru. He came in the semifinals, I think top 3. But when I saw it, he was sending off 2 other people. But I mean, that's a great accomplishment in the whole country. You come in the top 3. And to me, I'm a winners person, kind of don't make excuses. But in a competition that's not like an individual competition, like one-on-one, when you fight, it's like a pool of people, and it's not even it's subjective, and people are voting on the phone or on those little cans that they do, like they used to do on the shows with the string. Yes, I'm making fun of Peru and I'm being an American. But however they voted down there, however they do it, he may have made it 3rd place. That's incredible to me.
I wouldn't trust no vote in a Latino country, man, or Latin country. I wouldn't trust none of the results.
A literal banana.
But nah, for real. I look at it like this from a sports standpoint. He made it to the Final Four. We celebrate those people all the time. So it was an accomplishment. Rehan won me over finally with the good post because that Mike Singletary rant is by far one of my favorite coaching rants of all time. I need winners I need winners is gotta be top 3 all-time coaching rants at a press conference. And I thought that was well placed. Live citizen fine to Dupree for knocking him in the entertainment group and not realizing that he was in the entertainment group.
He kept posting for it.
But to his defense, though, he said Sebastian had taken shots at him when he was muted, and Sebastian admitted, he had been taking shots, so I guess it was all fair game, which is fine. But Sebastian, if you do listen to this podcast, next time, bro, when the female judge gives you that look, you need to go ahead and
she wanted it. She wanted it. She's like, oh.
Yeah, she was into him, man, and he out here trying to be a good guy, really trying to sing, and she like, yo, forget this singing. What you gonna do for this contract? So
got to go a little further. You got to go a little further, Sebastian. I'm not gonna say it has anything to do with Dupree being a failed SoundCloud rapper that he might be envious. I'm not gonna say that because it seemed a little over the top. But hey, I'm not gonna hate.
I don't know nothing about that.
So I don't know. That was my speculation, but I could be wrong. In racial news, the story of the week probably the Currys look like they're breaking up. America's family, sports look first like family.
My God, they've been broke up since March. I thought they said March of 2020. I could have been wrong, but one of the marches, whether it's 2021 or 2020.
They announced it. They were doing the they were probably living separately or trying to do it for
separately. Yo, get the story right. Dell kicked her out. This doesn't seem like a mutual agreed arrangement. It seems like
she's hanging out with the other dude, having an affair.
It was an entanglement, and rather than go to the red table, my man Dell said, "Nah, we on contagious time. You got to get out."
I 100% know that at some point, Sonya Curry is gonna go to the red table. You know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she can tell us
a light skin haven. That place is a light skin haven to justify the actions of light skinned women.
And I'm gonna believe her too, and I'm gonna call Dell all kind of names because I mean, it's Sonya, man. How could you, Dell?
The best post of it was this guy looks like soaking or at Solomon, Missouri. He had this long thread, and some of the great parts of it were. He said, all they're about to do is start podcast and talk about plate fixing. He said, I don't know why you want to do the work. You're going to come out here and ain't going to like it. And it said, love the wife of their youth. He just had a whole bunch of bangers and really good, funny comments about not wanting to be out here. That's what I try to, don't respond because I know you're in territory. I try to tell you, man, you don't want to be out here, man. You don't want to be out here. You got to keep, stay with the family. The family union's important. You don't want to be out here in these places, man.
What?
You don't want to be out here.
Y'all done ruined everything about this marriage and household anyway with y'all's random facts.
No, I'm saying
don't relate whatsoever.
I'm supporting the marriage. I support all my friends.
At this point,
you don't want to be out here, bro.
At this point, I might as well speak my truth since, I mean, we in the multiverse, apparently, where I got a kid on the way.
Other Alan's doing stuff.
I don't even know what's going on, man. Like, somebody need to give me that green stone that Doctor Strange had. I need to see what version we on that y'all looking at. But, I mean, I get what the dude was saying, but, I mean, again, according to sources, Dell already been in these streets. Matter of fact,
he's a former basketball player, bro.
He parallel parked in these streets. You know what I'm saying? Like he ain't even paying his toll. Yo, they done put a boot on his car. He got to stay the night. So I don't know what to make of it other than. And Cassandra's right behind me. I don't care if she hear me or not. If she leaves me for a 7th round, 6th round pick, only got 85 yards, man, I'm gonna have to fight her and him. I'm sorry. That's disrespectful, man.
Was he like a backup tight end for the Patriots or something?
He was on the bad Patriots though. This was in the 80s. They were practically an expansion team. They were a homecoming game for professional teams.
They were pretty bad. But how big of a loss is this? Like, this is devastating to the community. But in particular, we can at least pawn it off as Team Light Skin. It's devastating. No. Furries are wholesome. They're like Huxtables. This is devastating for Team Light Skin. Losing her.
Bro, she got green eyes. You couldn't trust her from the moment you looked at her. So this is not shocking. It's the shocking part is that she left a light-skinned dude for a white dude. Like I said in that one thread, light-skinned people usually leave for another light-skinned person. This is weird. But I have a question for Team Light Skin. Is it more insulting to lose to the banker that's in the shadows on that? I fucked up the joke. Anyway, is it more insulting for you guys to lose your woman to a white man or one of us darkies? Like I gotta know. Matter of fact, Toss Up Tuesday. I'm gonna post that. And be like, would you rather lose your woman to Steve Johnson, 6th round pick from the 1985 New England Patriots, or would you rather lose him to Uncle Michael?
That would be humiliating. Corey has some kind of spin. He's you like, you would never hit it because she was out of pocket and blah blah blah. Corey had good spin on it, but no. Right. He said this is better than Michael or Shannon or Dion getting her. And that was good. That would be humiliating.
That would be the end for real, yo. Hey, but the best part about all this is we even had John Washington commenting, and we had Sheldon Pinkett liking comments. He don't come out until LeBron news. We got people out early off of this. This was big news.
This was good. John had the good point being a light-skinned G like he is. He said, you wait till that next one, that young one Dale gonna get in her 30s. He probably got a point. Dale gonna have they're gonna have these people at the games. It's gonna be like when the parents get divorced at the games and one's sitting over here, one's sitting over there. And yeah, it's I don't know, man.
Hey, better watch out for Drake. Y'all know how he moves.
And the worst people in all of this are people say, none of our business. Well, don't comment. You never commented on a celebrity. This is private. Did you never comment on what celebrities' love life is or celebrities' life? I don't want to hear it. Shut up. They're in the public eye. That's life.
Pretty sure divorce isn't private, but okay.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's a public. Yeah. But yeah, I think we're just joking, though. I don't care. I don't actually care about it. They're going to be all right. Everybody get divorced. I've been divorced. Whatever. Like, shut up. I don't care. You're not personal.
I care.
I'm here for these jokes.
She's still local to Charlotte, from what I hear.
Somebody said she was living in Virginia, but I didn't delve that deep. They were delving really very deep.
If she's living in Virginia, she in Fairfax.
Yeah, really. Our girl that we've had to talk about this podcast. Hopefully, we never have to talk about it.
She's not my girl.
Never really our girl. But that was a segue. You said Sha'Carri Richardson's been released by Team Nickel. Not entertaining arguments against the decision. You can leave with it if you want. We're not gonna start a track beef with my wifey and still have these Jefferson Davis Highway weaves in her head. Forgive me, Lord. I don't like to put down the sisters, but this is out of line. If she matures and apologizes, we can revisit reinstating her. One, she liked the tweet making fun of Jamaicans in a stereotypical fashion. Two, she came after what's her name, Allison Felix. After Allison Felix went on the show, and all she did was express support, and she came for her.
Bro, I could overlook all the other stuff as just being immature, but coming after Felix was by far the most like stupid, disrespectful, I'm sick of your ghetto ass shit I've ever seen. And since we don't have ESPN, I can say these things. I'm sure Emmanuel, Ocho, and Wally and all those guys would like to say these things. So I'll say it for them. Like, bro, have some fucking home training. This is a veteran. This is an older person that's basically already been through most of what you've gone through. And she's found success at the level that you're trying to get to, coming out in your defense, saying kind words, showing support, and your response is to go on. Like, this got to be a generational thing. It's like when I saw it, I was like, this is some young people shit right here, yo. It's just unnecessary. One, you just recently, I think not too long ago, sponsored by Nike. She was pretty much the face of Nike female, like U.S. Olympic over the last decade, you might want to consider that when you're insulting her. And then 2, there's not many people out here that want to say kind things about Sha'Carri and her struggle. And I put that in air quotes because smoking weed is not a struggle. So I don't know what else to tell her other than she can't.
Died, but
yeah, and I get that, and I'm sympathetic to that point. But that's not an excuse to act like an asshole. I don't care. That's not an excuse to act like an asshole. If you ain't got nothing nice to say, keep your fucking mouth shut, especially when people are being nice to you on a nationally televised segment that she could have made about herself, or she could have said no comment like everybody else has done. She decided to give you a platform and show you support. So shut up. Like, it's that simple. Like, she needs a team around her that can help her kind of like fix her attitude, because she's not obviously performing well enough to carry herself like this. And those Jamaican women are going to dog her ass for the rest of her career, for sure. She might not ever catch homegirl. She running a 10-5. I'll tell you that right now. She basically female Usain Bolt. So good luck with that. But the worst thing you could do is give her a reason to be motivated to run a 10-4 to beat your ass even more. You're not even in the screen. So just stop.
It was kind of sad. It's kind of a sad downhood slide. But I mean, I've never been that into her. But I was trying to have a little sympathy because she made a bad decision. But moving on to the headlines of the week, the Ravens lost J.K. Dobbins to a knee injury. Looks like he tore his ACL. And the way people were talking about it when I was looking at it, because I didn't see it when I was looking at people commenting, I would have thought this was in the third or fourth quarter, but it was on the opening drive. What can you really do? I mean, you need to play. Your guys need to get some kind of reps. I'm not for sitting guys out the whole preseason because they have practice too. So you can get her to practice. You can get her to preseason. I mean, that's just part of life. That's part of sports.
I'd rather you get hurt in practice than preseason.
I mean, preseason is practice, though.
No, it's not. Didn't you get the memo? This shit is real. They got records and everything. They keep track of shit in preseason, so it can't be practice. Because I don't know any practice stats, but I saw a 20-game win streak in preseason. So I don't know. So I saw the fucking Niners play our starting offense today, and we ran one play, and I was like, yo, stop. Everybody needs to get out. We don't need that shit, yo.
With your injury history, maybe I would play on the starters.
Yeah, alternating quarterbacks, and then the most fragile of the quarterbacks is running head first into the fucking end zone. For what? What? Wow. What are we doing? J.K. Dobbins should not be hurt. That's exactly what the Ravens get and their fan base get for hyping up these goddamn stupid ass things that don't nobody pay attention to in preseason wins and shit like that. Yeah, covering the spread is one thing, but don't nobody care about these wins, man. And now look at you. Since you got such a great front office, where your depth at for running back? Who your next running back?
Everybody at running back, honest with.
Yeah, that's what they say. Let me see it. Then let me see anybody. Let me see anybody come back there. Imagine a Trent Richardson in an offense like that, where you got to have vision to really see the holes and stuff like that. So let me see this.
They at least have the vision to get one cut. They at least have that kind of vision. And
let me see this anybody.
What you were saying, it was the football gods and karmic justice because they were bragging about the preseason, which is ridiculous. ESPN even had an in-depth article behind the Ravens' amazing streak. No, I know you're looking for clickbait. Jameis Winston named the starter, which is funny because they gave Taysom Hill all that money for some reason. Like he was going to be the starter. They started him last year, and then when you get a whole offseason and a preseason season compare, Jameis is the starter.
You know how bad you got to be privileged. Taysom Hill is like these dudes that grow up in the hood or in children. Black, no, bro. You literally had every chance that life could give you to not be this way. You're a failure. He's a failure. It's okay. He's a good athlete. They can find him somewhere. He will not be an NFL quarterback. He won't. He can't. It's okay. Everybody has their limits. He just can't do it. And I don't know why Sean Payton and them tried to force it on everybody that he could. But, I mean, I just can't look at what I saw during the preseason, and again what we saw last year. And I'm pretty sure me and Corey, I think even you might have said it, that it was kind of like a gimmick. Like people didn't really have film on them. The threat of the run and stuff like that was making them more dynamic, but in the same sense, it kind of limited them because he was either big throw or run, and that shit catches up to you. It really does, and he can't run Sean Payton's system to the ability that it needs to be run on a consistent level, and he lost to a better quarterback. Is Winston a better player? I don't know. It's probably debatable, but clearly he beat him out in a competition 1-on-1. So kudos to Winston.
Jameis, I know everybody's very excited to see what Sean Payton can do with Jameis, but I'd say 20 interceptions instead of 30. That's what I would look at.
What? Bruh, my man is about to have at least 40 touchdowns.
Jesus
at least
Christ.
40 touchdowns.
He throws 40 touchdowns.
And no more than 17 interceptions. And out of those 17, 15 gonna go off of somebody's hands on some bullshit.
Yeah, because he's just throwing bad passes. They struggle to reach out to try to get it. Moving on.
I've seen bad passes. Yeah, you better move on.
Yeah, moving on.
We're gonna pick this shit back up.
The last thing on Florida State that you have to hang your hat on is Jameis Winston.
We're going to pick this back up in a couple weeks.
Yeah, on the big show. All right, Ash, I don't know if you saw it, but Ashley Smith and Daniel LeClaire, Daniel makes a show again. They went at it because it started off with Ashley, who sometimes does this. I don't like it, but it's not the end of the world. He copy and pasted some news instead of screenshotting it. And it does, when you first look at it, you think that the person is trying to break the news instead of but it said Ian Rappaport after it. It was fine. If the whole page was filled with it, I wouldn't like it, but it's fine. And then Daniel went after him. So what Ashley's thing was to post every post like that, every breaking news post like that, just copy and paste it instead of screenshot it. And then Daniel responded for some reason the same way. But it was saltine on saltine violence, and I was here for it.
Yeah, I'm always here for that shit, yo. And this is real saltine on saltine violence. Like somebody gonna go home and smack their wife after this. This ain't that shit that Sam be on. These people want blood. So let's see the bigger asshole win. I can't wait. I'm here for it.
I thought Daniel had a good line. I said this is some alpha versus alpha saltine stuff, and Daniel said there's nothing alpha about a guy named Ashley. That was I said never get old. They really don't.
Y'all gonna stop fucking with my man about his name.
I never make it because everybody he just says, "Oh, I did it one time." He's like, "Oh wow, you think nobody ever did that before?" So I think he shut me up. So I was like, "Yeah, you're right. You know, that's immature."
Every time we have a new member,
every time,
yeah, literally every time you make one of those lists where you're like, "Welcome to new members," I always make a joke about Ashley being a girl just to draw one person. It's just a game that I play.
And they do it every
time.
That's how I do it. They're like, this
every
girl
single
is
time.
Really opinionated. The new people be like, this girl is really opinionated. It's like, yeah, there was a girl acting like Ashley boy. Woo.
Charlamagne had this bitch, man, Mickey Free, man. All the dudes was like, yo, Mickey Free bad as a bitch, man. It was a dude the whole time. That's Ashley.
We did have kind of a little headline, and we skip around a little bit. Rachel Nichols was let go by ESPN. I don't know if it's official, but they took her off all the shows.
It's official,
and I think it was just like, you know, sometimes they do the report, but they don't actually do it until later. But I thought it was not tragic. It's not the best word to use, but just horrible mismanagement by ESPN. What she said was right, and they ended up losing both of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think she said anything wrong. I've said that before. Like,
you're saying to a black person,
she might drop the yeah, she might drop the N word every now and then in the private time, but that's on her. but I mean, as far as what she was saying, like, she's right, man. Don't take from her because you didn't do right, like, because you don't have her suffer for your mismanagement.
Yeah, and, exactly.
I mean, ultimately, it cost her job, which I'm sure she knew that once she heard the tape or the audio get leaked, that she knew that it was going to be just a matter of time. But like everything else that ESPN does to satisfy whatever image that they feel like they need to uphold, it's just a clusterfuck. They never handle these situations well.
No, very similar.
Which is weird for
very reactionary.
Yeah, for a company like a conglomerate that's a part of Disney, you would think they would have better PR, but it's just like, yo, who's making these calls, man? What kind of fucking hothead are you?
We got the last stand of the Allen Iverson fans in this group. I've trashed him so often. And you know, when he was around, I really did enjoy watching him play, and I loved the heart and all that, but people just tend to overrate him. But there was a post where he was on, I believe it was Shannon Sharp podcast, and he said that he would have been a better football player than he would basketball. That's a little extreme because I don't think, just based on his size, I don't think he would have been. To be a better football player, he would have had to play quarterback probably. And I don't think he would have been able to play quarterback, especially back then. But he was an amazing football player, not far away from where I grew up, maybe 45 minutes, Bethel, whatever, 50 minutes. But a lot of people were on it, and a lot of people just assumed he would just be this great football player. Maybe he would have been a really good corner or a scat back, but I haven't seen him playing corner or slot receiver. But
yeah, I'm trying to figure out how tall he really was. First of all, because you know they be lying. Yeah, they be lying on that. But I had a discussion with somebody in another group about it, and I was like, you know, all things considered, I feel like he had the height for what would have been like an average size corner, and he was athletic enough. I mean, I'm willing to give it a shot. I saw him play in high school. Obviously, I was a kid, so of course he looked like a god. But I mean, Allen Iverson, Ronald Curry, Michael Vick, like those names are synonymous with 7-5-7 football. Like, you know, that like as far as quarterbacks go or playmakers, and there's so many more that we could name, but like these are prominent names across the nation that people know about. So I don't know if I agree with him being better than he was in the NBA, but I agree that he probably could have gotten at least some looks.
Yeah, I think he could. If he devoted himself to football, I think he could have been, hell, in college, I think he'd have been a really good college quarterback. And if he was what he is now, if he was coming out in this era of Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray and even Baker Mayfield, I think he could have even played quarterback. But the way they had locked those quarterbacks in and didn't build the offense around them, they made the quarterback go to the offense. I think he would have had a hard time. No, I'd say he's about 160 pounds, 170 pounds. That's tough.
That's what they say. Yeah, and I believe it. But also, yeah, I think he's not training like body wise to be a
football. Yeah. But if you get up to 180 or whatever. But I mean, Vic had a lot of injury problems. But yeah, I mean, he's a great athlete, one of the greatest athletes of all time. So I'm not hating on him at all. And he was amazing the way he could jump and get up and do the things he did. We do have the kitty table, and the first actual You Got a Minute fam of the season was our boy Jay Johnson in Nebraska losing their opening game to the Illinois Fighting Illini. You hate to see it.
So Jay has requested to come on the podcast. I'm going to see if he can. So I'll just do my rant here that I was going to do on the podcast and say, you cannot lose a game to a first-year coach implementing a new 3-4 defense, losing his starting quarterback, not having his starting receiver, and get your ass whipped. You cannot do that. If you are in the fourth year of your head coaching tenure with the same quarterback that you've had all 4 years, you cannot lose that game. Like, it's not even about covering. Throw the gambling out the window. I don't give a damn about that right now. You cannot lose. How Scott Frost is beyond me. I would have fired his ass. I would have fired him before the end of the game. When they came out at halftime and they literally gave up 7 minutes and still gave up a touchdown, I would have fired his ass right then and there. He looks just like Harbaugh does sometimes. And I had to say at the end of the day that I was wrong about Scott Frost and that Harbaugh was a better coach. And you know how much that hurt me? It's personal now, yo. I want Scott Frost ass beat too. I'm with Jay. I'm going to buy him the ticket to get to Nebraska.
Do you see a way Nebraska could ever come back to being
Fuck no.
I was even going to say championship, a relevant program, a top 25 program?
Not in the next 5 years. No. I mean, I don't even know who their 2022 class is. He doesn't. Like, Jay's a fan. He's a legitimate fan. And he can't tell you who their best signee is for 2022 class. Like, they're in limbo because a lot of kids came back because they got that free year from COVID. And then you got Scott Frost, who can't coach. And the team's just in shambles right now. There's reports that the staff are fighting each other. Martinez is on podcast talking shit to fans. It's a hot fucking mess. How do you come back from this? And I told him, I said, what I see right now in Nebraska, and I hate to make this joke, but they are now officially a black coach's job. And that's not good for your program because the black coach is going to come in. He's going to inherit this shit. He's going to go 2 to 3 win seasons here and there. He's going to finally get the program turned around, maybe win 6 games, and then they're going to fire his ass and bring in a white coach to make everything look good. That's how it works.
Really how it goes in college football. Yep. Yeah, it's a mess. Let's wrap this up. Again, rate and subscribe to the podcast network. We got the Patreon subscription that you can get, become an all-star for $5 a month. Also, just if you're listening, share the podcast, talk about it in the group. If nothing else, grab something from this, share it in the group, keep the word going so we get more going. Anything else you want to plug before we go?
So we're gonna do the college football podcast on Wednesday. I'm trying to schedule a baseball podcast for Tuesday just because we're kind of entering into that phase where it's starting to get serious. And then, of course, me and the nerd Joe Matz will be doing a weekly NFL show that is separate from gambling and daily fantasy. We're just going to do like a news-related show, talk some stats and other little nuances that we come up with. So just be on the lookout for all that. And I like to give a shout out to myself. I've went an entire month without being banned. That's progress. Hey, we're almost in September and I haven't got banned yet.
All right, folks. For Actively Lazy and the Commish, this has been the You Got a Minute Fam podcast.